Okay. Couple of things. If this preview is a bit stop-start, I apologise because I am feeling early hay fever season very badly. Sore throat, bunged up nose, all that kind of thing. So I apologise in advance. Here we go. So, if at any point I need to stop and blow my nose, I'm gonna mute, camera off, quick do it, and then we'll be back. Like I say, I'm gonna apologise in advance. But here we are. And you might have noticed the thumbnail for this. I have deliberately picked this certain thumbnail in light of this week's event, and it is from a couple of seasons ago. It was our first season back in the Championship, and this photo is actually George Honeyman wearing the home kit with, the sash. I've gone out of focus, but the sash down from this shoulder here down to the right side of the waist where it stops. Come on. There we go. And that season and the season before, the EFL added a specific racism slogan onto that specific part of the sleeve. And that has been changed now, and it's just it's not the same as it was. It was, it used to say, I'll just show you it. It used to say, not today or any day. But it now just says together. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. Well, actually, we'll show you the journey that it's been on, because I've got a couple here. So, it began with that in our League One season, the first full season after, with players taking the knee at every game, and black background, white text, not today or any day. That changed, and there's another good angle of it there. That changed the following season to not today or any day, as seen there, and as modelled perfectly there by Brandon Fleming. Then I'll see what it was season before last. When's that dated? The first. Well, anyway, you can see the Premier League one there, no room for racism. And that stayed pretty constant on the Premier League shirts. The EFL ones, you can see there now just say together with an EFL logo, which is simple but effective. And I'm going to be scrolling back a while here, but it's worth doing. There on the Peterborough shirt, in the, not the Papa John's trophy anymore, the Bristol Street Motors trophy. That's another one that shows it off well. Another Premier League one there, Everton, Beto, no room for racism, simple there. And like I say, that Premier League one has stayed pretty constant, but the EFL have changed theirs. And I am just going to keep scrolling through because otherwise we're going to be here a while. I'm going to skip forward a few pages. That's still dated the 11th. Bloody hell, right. I'm going to take a guess at page 16. That's 2020. Right, too far. Page 14. No. Okay, we'll get there. 12. No. Right, we'll go back a bit further then. 11. Is this... No, that's still that season. Right. This is worth doing because it links. It might seem tangenty, but it does link. Still season... Yeah, here we go. And it was 22-23 that they changed it to say together. And they've just stuck with that. But it went through a couple of different iterations of design before they settled on, before they just settled on together there. But yeah, that I picked that thumbnail deliberately because of the abuse Liam Rossini's had this week from one very specific individual who, well, I'm not going to repeat what was said or show what was said again because it's out there. Everyone has seen it. The club are aware. The police are aware, which is good. But I'm just going to show you simply that I tweeted this. I wish Happy Boy the most rancid night of sleep or lack thereof that anyone has ever known. Hope whoever is behind that persona is lying awake in fear, reflecting on what they've done for months and months and months. Hope both sides of the pillow are warm and all. That is rubbing salt in an already gaping wound. However, Dorothy, I really, really don't think it's the time. Cheers, Dorothy. So, hi Joe. Seeing the season ticket price increase today might be stupid, but if it was specified, when do they come on sale? So, memberships are on sale the entire time because it's a direct debit payment. Those increases just start from July. Those increases just start from July, and that's going to run through until those prices until at least to the end of next season. That's going to be the price all the way through. Those prices will not change from July this year through to the end of next season. Next season, they will announce what they do. And it is worth saying, right? So the answer is yes, you can buy a membership whenever, but it'll just probably be a bit of a waste of time buying it now because you'd be paying for May where there's no home games. June, a lower price, and then July, obviously, before the start of next season. So if I wanted to move next to my mate, I would have to cancel it. No. So the club at the end of the season will issue a window for people to... Well, no. You can buy your membership now, but what tends to happen is if you've already got a membership and you want to keep your same seat, you don't have to do anything. Then there's a window at the end of the season for people who want to move seats in, and then new memberships will go back on sale. if that makes sense. Or as Jeff says, you could just ring them up and see if they do it. But if you want to stay in your current seat for the rest of the season, there'll be a window at the end of the season in which you can move your seat, if you get what I'm trying to say. Excuse me. Yeah, anyway, let's go in chat. I was listening to the Athletics podcast and they said something that relates to the squad. A manager is like a secondary school teacher and it can take 2 or 3 years to be ready for a test. Up the Tigers, Jeff. Evening, Joe. I get fans are frustrated with Rossini because he can't seem to buy a win at the moment, but no need to attack him racially. Exactly that, right? Just give me a second. I need to blow my nose. 2 seconds. BRB. Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't have hay fever and don't get really ill through it. That's my advice. Anyway. Jeff, I can try and get a hold of it for you, mate. And Ollie, yeah, Marcus is he's killing 2 birds with 1 stone, really, isn't he? He's trying to get his fitness up whilst raising money for a brilliant cause. So hats off to him. On a fitness point of view, I am when my exams are done, I'm going to become an absolute fitness god. I haven't been running since September because I just haven't had time, and I don't get to go to the gym when I'm not during term time because I'm just that busy and what have you. But I'm gonna. But I've been pretty much every day this week, and went pretty much every day last week as well. So it's. And I enjoy going when I'm there. So I'm going to become, I'm going to be in peak physical shape by the time I go to university. The comments from one individual, like it's meant to be a positive thing. Rossini getting nominated for manager of the season. Should he win it? No, not for me. But does it show the progress we've made? Yes. And it shouldn't be turned into a negative thing. Like, but whether it's like obviously the racism stuff is self-explanatory. Just go away, kind of thing. If you dislike someone purely because of the color of their skin, then quite simply, you're a dick. There's no other way of saying it. But again, like other criticisms of him saying, well, I don't think he'll win it, and then he doesn't deserve it from our own fans. It's a bit of a strange one. Random one, but if one of our more important and more regular goalkeepers or both. But if one of our more important and more regular keepers or both got injured, would you, if you were City, contact Leeds about an emergency loan for Carl Darlow? No, because we've got three keepers here, really, haven't we? Look, right. Worst comes to worst. If Allsop and Panda are both injured, Ingram goes in. And then and then Robson's on the bench, or Owen Foster's on the bench, or Callum Yam's on the bench. We've got the cover. Because we've got 3. Well, I know we've got 2 at least number 1 caliber goalkeepers. And if Panda's come in and dumped Ingram down to 3rd choice, he's probably a number 1 caliber goalkeeper as well. So, no, it's not worth it. And I don't even think we've got enough loan slots anyway. Hello, old Grandpa Joe, otherwise known as old Grandfather Joseph, otherwise known as Sam Klug. Thanks. Ashley, good evening. Pre-season's elite, can't wait for July. Can't wait for after exams. What gym you? I go to the Village Hotel gym. It's near all the car dealerships in Hessel, round sort of like where. What else is around there? There's an Aldi around there. There's big Sainsbury's around there. I'd start them three over England. What? Robson, Foster, and Callum Yam. Okay, well, if we signed Darlow, we'd be top 6 secured already. I don't think we would be because we still don't score enough goals. Do you know what I mean? I actually think we should experiment with Traore at centre mid because whenever he's covered there, he's been a class above. And also, we could offer something more attacking wise, gives us some more energy. It's a shout, but I'm going to be honest. Contracts end of this season. Bora Eidenlech, Jake Brown, Fabio Carvalho, Cyrus Christie, Aaron Connolly, Vaughan Colville, Liam Delap, Greg Doherty, Kyle Fanning, Ryan Giles, Ollie Green, Sincere Hall, not Matty Jacob anymore. It's just an old list. Joe Johnson, Jake Leake, Jack Leckie, Jevon Mills, Tyler Morton, Tom Nixon, Noah Ohio, Raj Pallett, David Robson, Billy Sharp, Jim Sims, Alfie Taylor, Nathan Tinsdale, Adama Traore, AJ Weston, Harry Wood, Anas Zarori. I think Adama is going to go, I'll be honest. Timothy better than Ingram. He's doing well out of Donny, I think. Renew Doc, maybe renew Connolly. Did you see his save against Wrexham? Yes, I did. You know what? Should we get the contractees out? Why do so many people want Doc to stay? He's done virtually nothing for us this season. Doc is he's a class act around the dressing room. But let me load up the contracts and let me load up. Just let me get these separate. Okay. So let me share this screen with you. So we'll come to Bora in a minute. Okay. Brownie is only a first year pro, so I think you know what, we'll do a little key. That is gone. That is so no, that's released. That is option taken / new deal. And then we've got there signed for next season, brackets, loan / perm. Okay? So, Bora, I've got a feeling Bora will stick around. It's just the feeling I get. Jake Brown, I think, will be kept on. I think that option will be taken. Carvalho, not sure. Christie, I think, will be gone. Colville, I think, will be gone. Doherty, I think, will be gone. And I will explain why. Okay? I think Doherty will go because Ollie Green will be kept on. And I think we've got Rocco as well. Rosina will acknowledge we've got those two, plus Xavier Simons coming back from loan. Doc hasn't featured an awful lot this year. Ollie and Rocco, I think, are good enough, are capable enough to be squad players. And I know for Ollie it'd be late to break through like Matty Jacob has, but the point is Matty Jacob has broken through. So Ollie, I hope we keep Ollie because he's a class act. Kyle Fanning, I think will keep on, first year pro. Ryan Giles, I think will take that buy option. Jake Leake, I think will be let go. Jack Leckie, I think will be kept on because he's had a disrupted year through injury this year. Jevon, I'm fairly certain that's extended because he's out on loan until November. Same with Alfie Taylor. Tom Nixon, I think, will be... We'll come back to him. Ohio, we won't make that one permanent. Raj better stay. I think Robson will go. I think Sharp will go. I think Adama will go. I think Harry Wood and Anas Zarori will both go. AJ, as a first-year pro, I think he will be kept. The same can be said for Joe Johnson. And for Nathan Tinsdale. Sincere Hall's an interesting one because although he does play well for the academy, he tends to blow hot and cold. Massively blow hot and cold. In terms of, he'll have 2 good games in succession, then he'll do nothing for the next 5 or 6. And if we look on here, out of these guys, sorry, I've forgotten George out of that. Out of these guys, who I believe found out, this hasn't been confirmed, but I believe found out this week whether they were getting offered professional contracts or not. He can play wide and he can play wide. That's it. And of course, there's no guarantee they accept a professional contract either. In terms of the next year, though, Lucas Dawson can play wide. Aidan Durkin can play wide. Stan Hewitt can play wide. Ed Devine, by the way, keep an eye out for Ed Devine. At fullback, 17 years old, left back, Ed Devine. keep an eye out for him. That's all I'll say. Sin, I get the feeling he'll go. Nixon, I think the option will be taken, then he'll be sold on. And that leaves Morton, Delap, Connolly and Carvalho. I think he will keep Connolly. Because when Sharp, Ohio, Delap go, if he goes as well, we go into pre-season without a single recognised striker playing for the first team. I don't think even in the... Well, there'd be Sellers, Fleming and Sandat. But then, what do they do with Henry Sandat? He's another one who's gone out on loan this year. Anyway, I think because of his injury, we will get Liam Delap back. And that leaves the two Liverpool boys. Neither of whom I think will stay. They're my predictions for the out of contractees. That's the list. 28 of them. And in case you're wondering, next year, Allsop, Thelly, Estupinian, Fleming, Foster, Ingram, Jarvis, Jones, Lakilo, Lottatala, Longman, Sandat, Sellers, Fleming, Seri, Cynic, Tufan, Woods, and Callum Yam. They are my predictions for the contract. We've done that spontaneously, but sometimes that's the best way to do things. But yeah, to answer your question, Ashley, I don't think it's worth keeping Doc because I think we should keep Ollie, give him a new deal. And then we've got Rocco as well coming through. Would I rather we sign Delap or Morton on a permanent? Delap. Think Woods wants to move to Exeter, having a good spell there. Well, they've got to pay the wage then, haven't they? Zaruri and all that. Zaruri's been solid overall for us, but underwhelming. That's a bit of a contradiction there, Will. Prutton made a good point in 1904. The players we signed like Fabio and Zaruri have only had one good season in the Championship, and that was in teams who were walking the league. Yeah. Carvalho as well. He pops up with goals a hell of a lot, but he doesn't seem to impact games other than scoring goals. I'm not sure why that is. Just give me a second. I've got to sort that out. Oh my God, I hate it. Bora's class. Bora's really come on in recent weeks. Chuck him in the first team before the end of the season. That's what I say. See what it's about. Lund Nixon to Grimsby is already done. Donny. Still think we're carrying a fair bit of deadwood that needs clearing out. Some better quality bringing in the summer. Why Coville hasn't had a look in this year. And that's that. Nothing else to say. Give Sellers Fleming some games in pre-season, 100%. No chance on Carballo unless we go up. Fair enough. KLP back on loan. Jeff, give it a rest. Liverpool ones, hard to predict because of how crazy their summer will be. Exactly. We don't know who their manager's going to be yet. We know probably for certain now it's not going to be Xabi Alonso. But will it be Roberto De Zerbi? Will it be Ruben Amorim? Will it be someone else entirely? Don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Team news. Louis Coyle and Ryan Giles were both substituted for Essex Leeds through injury, and Liam Rosenior said on Thursday that he wanted to give them, quote, the maximum time to recover and be assessed prior to the trip to the Welsh capital. Billy Sharp felt tightness in training a couple of days ago and didn't train on Thursday, so that might leave him absent. We'll see on that one. Jacob Greaves returns from suspension, and Liam Delap will be back in training on Monday. He'll be fit enough to feature not against Middlesbrough, but against QPR in a week's time. That is massive. Liam Delap back in training on Monday. That was the date Liam Rosenior was given. Superb. Why do you think Rosenior hasn't been able to crack our attacking problems and not been able to make it click during forward? Is it the players or the coaching? Away, it's not as big a problem. At home, it's part tactics, not figuring out how to break down teams that sit back easy enough. And it's also not being able to, not having a recognised striker on the pitch a lot of the time. Having a 38-year-old striker that can't move on the pitch probably doesn't help. And, some of it's got to come down to the players, but at home, I think a lot of it is the coaching. And the players need to be told, if you can't break them down and the closest you can get is the edge of the box, have a dig from the edge of the box and test the keeper. And then if teams notice, right, they're going to have a dig, we need to close them down, that's going to open up space in behind for someone to fill, and then we can eventually get in the box if they shut players down who are capable of scoring from the edge. It might possibly be murmurs from the crowd and like disappointment at passing back and stuff like that, but the football at home isn't very good because of the reason Rosenior hasn't figured out how to break teams down. Teams like Leicester, like Ipswich in a few weeks, will come here and will play the football they would play anywhere else in the league. Teams lower down the league, like Stoke, we've got evidence they didn't play the way that Leicester do and be expressive. They sat back, and we haven't figured out how to break them down at home. When they're at home, chances are they're going to play a bit more expressively. But coming away to a team challenging for playoffs, when they're in the position they're in, they're going to be happy with the points. So if they can sit back, keep them out for 90 minutes, and solidify a point, of course they're going to do it. The amount of times Rosenior has said in interviews that in training he's trying to get the players into a shoot-on-sight mentality, but in games they still won't shoot. Frustrating. Joe, I think, you've got to stick around. You've got to stick around for that. And do I think Slater should start? Yes. did nothing wrong up to the penalty. And that's another bit of Hull City fan weirdness on Twitter, right? Why send his dad a tweet like that? What? Can you ask Regan why he brought him down? Dan Slater's reply was incredible, by the way. In case you haven't seen it, here's the tweet. Good evening at Dan Slater. Please ask Regan what he was thinking when he decided to hack Somerville down in the box with 5 minutes to play. Dan replied, brilliantly, didn't really hack him down, mate, did he really? But send me a video of how you would have defended it and I'll make sure he sees it. That's incredible. I'm not paid thousands of pounds a week to do it, though I could have given away a penalty for free as well. Dan, that's why you're not a professional footballer then, lad. Nobody will be more pissed off than Regan because he actually does give a and lost out on the bonus for a draw. So obviously wasn't on purpose, was it, you whopper? Dan Slater, you legend. Very well played. Very, very, very well played by Dan Slater, that. The Ipswich one, yes, is now 8 o'clock on Sky. I read something about Rosie being a target of racism. Neil, it has come from our own fans. It's come from someone who very publicly has done it before. It's now all caught up with them and there's a whole catalogue of evidence. And the police seem to have found their man, which is good. It did come from one of our own fans, but he is, no other word to say it, a dickhead. So we don't claim him as one of ours, but yeah. Anyway, let's get moving through this because I need to rest my voice. So, referees John Busby, 2-liners are Rich Wildman, who pinned a Gill, fourth officially Scott Simpson. Stats from the Leeds game. More possession, more or less matched them on shots, but only the 2 on target, and that's what's let us down. Just even against a top team, playing good football but not being clinical enough. Excuse me, in that final third. Cardiff's team then changed a little bit since we played them last. They did, of course, benefit in the last game. We'll talk about the last game in a minute. But the last game had Ethan Horvath in goal. The back four was Demetrius Gutas, Nat Phillips, Perry or NG, however you say it, and Jamilu Collins. That back four, the 2 formers, centre backs, 2 latters, full backs. Midfield 4 had Josh Bowler and Carlin Grant on the wings, with Joe Rawls and Manolis Siopis, the 2 midfielders. David Turnbull, the number 10, behind Yaku Mete. And we shall move on to current form, because I was talking about their last game. Cardiff were, of course, the beneficiary of, well, excuse me. Thank you. Of 2 Liam Kitching own goals. The first one, he just sort of tried to clear it, I think, behind and got it totally wrong and put it in the top corner of his own net. The second one took a deflection off his shoulder, I think, and helped defeat Coventry, which is a good result for us. Anyway, last 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 wins in 5, but the 2 that weren't wins were defeats. Beat Huddersfield 1-0, beat Ipswich 2-1, which is a really good result. Lost to Swansea in the derby, lost to Sunderland on Good Friday, then beat Coventry with a, let's be honest, a massive stroke of luck on Monday. Us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's be honest, we know we're winless in 6. Last 2 defeats. I don't think I need to faff about with ours. Anyway, league table. We do have a game in hand, of course, but we are some way down from the playoff race now. It's 6 points. We've got Middlesbrough ahead of us. That makes that a must-win game on Wednesday. Cardiff is also, because they're just below us, a must-win game. Ipswich at the top. Leicester, if they win their game in hand, they could well go top again. Southampton have been massively cut adrift from it now. They're just sort of on their own in fourth, really. West Brom are a little bit clear now. I don't think anyone will, to be honest. The only team that could catch them is Norwich. But I think West Brom are more or less guaranteed a playoff spot now. Then Norwich in 6th. Cov 7th, who our game in hand is against. Preston 8th. Middlesbrough 9th. We've slipped down to 10th. Yeah. But as AGU's comment says, it is still, although unlikely, it is still possible. And Around the Grounds will show you that. If Norwich lose to Ipswich, if Coventry lose to Leeds, and we beat Cardiff, all of a sudden it is very, very possible again. We'd be... Well, let me open the table up again. So if we were to win and the other two were to lose, we would leapfrog Coventry and be on 61 points. Preston have got Watford. So they may well also leapfrog Coventry. And obviously it depends on the Middlesbrough result as well. They've got Swansea, they're sort of still fighting for every point. Although they are just about out of it down the bottom. We would leapfrog Coventry, be 3 points behind with a game in hand on Norwich, that is. 3 points behind Norwich with a game in hand, and that game in hand coming against Coventry will be massive. So, we'll see what happens. I've just clicked cancel that one. I didn't mean to. Anyway, Rotherham versus Plymouth has kicked off. Rotherham need to win to not go down. Then Norwich play Ipswich, 12:30 tomorrow. 3 o'clock, so Blackburn versus Southampton. Us v Cardiff. Coventry versus Leeds. Huddersfield versus Millwall. Leicester versus Birmingham. Middlesbrough versus Swansea. QPR versus Sheffield Wednesday. Stoke versus West Brom. Sunderland versus Bristol City. And Watford versus Preston. I'm actually going to change memorable match because I think I just remember I did that one last time. So, we're going for what I believe was Liam Rosenior's first win as Hull City manager. I'm going to check that. It was his second game, his first win. Beaten 3-2. Pelkas gave us the lead after 4 minutes. Cardiff then turned it around to 2-1. Then a quick-fire double from Regan Slater made it 3-2. The team was Nathan Baxter in goal. The back four, Cyrus Christie, Tobias Figueiredo, Alfie Jones and Jake Greaves. Midfield was Ryan Woods, Jean-Michel Seri and Demetrius Pelkas. Yes, you can see that correctly. It is Doherty and Slater wide. Yes, it was, with Ryan Longman through the middle. The bench was Matt Ingram, the goalkeeper, Louis Coyle, Ozan Tufan, Dokan Sidic, Sean McLaughlin, Brandon Fleming and Tyler Smith, with Liam Rosenior, of course, in charge. Former Tiger that day for Cardiff, Gavin White. Future Tiger, Ryan Allsop in goal for Cardiff that day. Neither of those two are the shared shirts. Have your guess for who the shared shirts is, by the way, in the comments now, because it's a good one. Last time out, 3-0 in December. We had that beautiful Scott Twine free kick. Sandwich between goals by Connolly and Tufan. The team also up in goal. Back four was Christie, Jones, Greaves and Coyle. Midfield, Seri, Moulton and Tufan. Delap and Twine were wide and Connolly up top. Bench, Ingram, McLaughlin, Doherty, Traore, Vaughan, Smith, Slater, Jacob and Sellers. Fleming, Josh Bowler, former Tiger, still in that Cardiff team. Can you see I'm struggling now? Keep your guesses for shared shirts. I want to see if any of you get it. Then, in terms of our record against Cardiff, we've won all of our last 5 games against them. 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, 1-0 and 3-0. Superb record. Shut up, Siri. Right. Have you got your guesses for shared shirts, you lot? It's not Bowler. He's an active player. I never do active players. I need to sort this out again. So I must have blown my nose for the 3rd time in 50 minutes. Guess for shared shirts, please. Okay, right. We've got Anthony Gerrard. It's an obscure shout, but it's not what I've chosen for. David Marshall and Fraser Campbell. Come on, you two. You two are the regulars in here. You know that that's not obscure enough for me. Gavin White, again, I think is too recent. I mentioned him there, so I probably wasn't going to mention him again. Good guess on Oumar Niasse, but it's not Oumar Niasse. He played for one of these clubs whilst they were in the Premier League. Played for both of these clubs when they were in the Championship. Was a permanent player at one of them. Was a loan signing for the other. Alan McGregor. This is probably the ultimate obscure player I could find for both of these. Because Alan McGregor was a brilliant goalkeeper for us. But a lot of you will surely remember the start of the 2016-17 season. I'm talking about pre-season. I'm talking about pre-season. When everyone and their mother got injured. One of those injuries was to Alan McGregor. He came back from injury around sort of December, January time, when there was a change of manager from Mike Phelan to Marco Silva. Whilst Alan McGregor was injured, Jakupovic started playing really well at the start of the season under Phelan. David Marshall, his fellow countryman, was brought in and became number one, relegating Jakupovic to the bench. Foolishly. Marshall actually brought in from Cardiff. And then we still had as third choice Dusan Kushak. Remember him? No, me neither. Alan McGregor, coming back from injury, played, I think, once or twice for the under-18s or under-21s. But then Marco Silva came in, said, I can't guarantee you games. Go out on loan to get your fitness back. And he was loaned out to Cardiff City. For the second half of the 2016-17 season, Neil Warnock famously said about Alan McGregor when he was at Cardiff about signing him permanently, when it looked like we might stay up, possibly a chance that that Silva would then stay. If Marshall and Jakupovic both stayed, if we stayed up, which to be honest would have been likely, what did that leave McGregor in with a year left on his contract? And Neil Warnock said, no, he won't be coming here permanently. I could sign 4 players for the wages he's on. We were relegated. Eldin Jakupovic left. Leonard Slutsky coming in. Had a number 1 shirt free for Alan McGregor to reclaim, which he did. Last year of his contract was the 2017-18 season. He then left at the end of that contract, went back to Rangers, and that was that. For us, from 2013 through to the end of the 2017-18 season, 148 appearances, Cardiff just the 19 in the half season on loan from us. And of course, goalie, unlikely to score, and didn't. Well, Ashley thought about him. I think that is just an elite pick. That's all I'm going to say. Shared shirts. I didn't even change the banner, for God's sake. Right, predicted team. Allsop in goal. Slater stays at right back. Jones and Greaves back in centre half. Matty Jacob in at left back. Tyler Morton, Seri and Carvalho the midfield. Abdush and Jaden the wingers. Tufan up top. Bench. Panda, McLaughlin, Doherty, Ohio, Traore, Furlong, Christie, Connolly and Anas Zarori. The only changes I've made, obviously Greaves coming back in and the enforced ones through injury. Because I think that performance at Leeds merits them getting another go. Predicted scores, everyone. Coxie, who's better, Marshall or Allsop? Marshall. Definitely David Marshall. His first half season in the Premier League wasn't great, but when he became number 1 for a season, he was solid. 3-0 Carvalho hat-trick, 2-2, 2-0 win. So Rui deserves to start over Jaden. I reckon Coyle will still make it somehow. 2-0, Tufan and Abdush. 1-1. I'm going to go 2-1. Goals, Carvalho and off the mark. Abdush, Irma. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you're travelling down to Cardiff for the game tomorrow, safe journey. I'm going to go to bed. Take some hay fever medication and indulge in a steam room with some Olbus to clear my sinuses and clear my pipes tomorrow morning before the game. Thank you for watching. Take care, up the Tigers, and goodbye.